Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Well, I live in the People's Republic of California. I'm trying to leave this state. What I have a problem with is it's kind of financial and life career as well. So right now I'm a federal government employee. I am 7 years out from retirement, or when I'm eligible. My wife is a nurse. She makes really good money in California, and they make around anywhere from $90 an hour. My goal is to, one, sell my house, transfer to a different position and to a different state within the same agency, just because I have a very toxic work environment going on right now, and I need to get out. But the problem is if my wife leaves the state of California, she'd go from $90 an hour to $30 an hour, which is a huge financial cut. She'd also probably lose her 401k as well as that. We did talk about doing foster to adopt in the event that we did move. But my question to you, I guess, is, am I just cutting my nose off to spite my face, and should I just deal with it, knowing the fact that I have 7 years left to retirement, my house will be paid off in 4 years.
You sound like you're at the end of your rope. You sound really frustrated. Are you?
I am. I'm very frustrated. Yes, I'm very frustrated. I've wanted to transfer. I've wanted to transfer and get out of the state for 17 years of my career.
Does your wife want to leave as well? Besides the money, I know she'll take a pay cut, but just in general?
Her family's here, but she realizes how frustrated I am.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, my boss is just utterly horrible right now.
And it's been going on for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it has. So my question to you is, am I being emotionally stupid by wanting to leave just so I can, quote unquote, have a more happy life, to trade one stress for another, for financial stress?
Well, is it California? Okay, so if you work for the state,
so it's a whole gambit. It's California. The state sucks. The high taxes, just getting out of everything.
All right. Okay, you're at your wit's end.
You're done.
Okay, so if you were to leave, what would you do, and where would you go?
I'd basically stay with the same federal agency. I would go from what I'm doing now to basically to just a different job function, but just to the same pay.
Is there a different?
I would get it a little bit. It would be a lower cost of living, which would be $13,000 a year.
Where?
But I'd imagine that, so I'd be from California possibly to Georgia.
Okay.
But I'm wondering if based
Why
on
Georgia?
the income tax rate out of well, that's where the position is at for my agency.
Have you ever been to Georgia?
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
What's your wife think about Georgia?
Sections of it she hates. So.
Okay. Because here's the thing, Josh. I mean, I can hear you're frustrated, and I could only imagine. I understand it is from just the state perspective that you're frustrated with. And then on top of that, you have a terrible job. You go and work somewhere for 40, 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
In a miserable place. So yeah, you're not in a good, this isn't like a good headspace for Josh. So my question is, you're not the only one in this equation, right? So your wife is going to have as much of an input in this decision too, because I think that there has to be this, I don't know, but if she is not on board, resentment later on in life, moving away from family, going to a place she hates, she's going to end up being you in 4 years, possibly. I don't know, but that's a warning sign. It's just like, you guys need to be so tight knit on this decision, because it's a big deal to move across the country. So you guys need to lock arms and be full, we are in this together. The good, the bad, the ugly. We are in this together, because I don't want your marriage to be destroyed in the process either, right? And I want to be able to give her a voice too, and her frustrations may not be as deep as yours. And I don't want her, and honestly, Josh, the motivation for her, I'm like, there's a part of me that I'm like, I would hate for her to do it just to make you happy, because Josh is frustrated. Right. So we got to go do what Josh wants to do, right? So there needs to be a level of agreement upon you guys. And I thought plan B too, which I know you hate California, but is there a different position you could take where you guys live, a different job, a different opportunity, at least to get out of the toxicness of that job, and then just have the frustrations with the taxes in California? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you and your wife agree to move to Georgia, then make the move. Leaving a job 7 years away from retirement is not stupid, because the work is, you're in a terrible situation. So no, that is not stupid to leave that.
No, I am of the mind that if one spouse is completely unhappy, then nobody's happy.
That's true.
So
yeah.
I do think that probably a move is good. But if she has come out and said, I don't really like Georgia, then Georgia's got to be off the table. You've got to pick a place where both of you are like, I'm up for that adventure. And I mean, there's 50, I don't want to say 50 states. What is it now?
49. No, it's 50.
But don't the other territories count? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So there's 50 states and then some territories, depending on what history book you look in. Okay. And so there's a lot of options here is what I'm saying. Going back to the conversation about the 401k quickly, what made you say that she'd lose her 401k?
Well, I wouldn't say she would lose her 401k. What she'd do is she would stop contributing to her 401k, so she'd be able to take it out.
Yeah, you just transfer it. You just transfer it.
Right.
Okay. I just want to be clear about that.
So I guess the issue is me is, I've only got 7 years left. My mortgage will be done in 4 years on my house. My wife is like going from $90 an hour to basically $30 if she decides to work. If not, then it's a huge.
Let me ask you this. Is there any world where you're like, is there any world where you're willing to ride this out longer? Because you're the person who brought up, in just 7 years, I'll retire, and in just 4 years, I'll have my car paid off. My house paid off. So do you really care about those things? Or do you know what I'm saying? Like, are those things that you're weighing in, or are you beyond that?
So here's the problem. Emotionally and mentally, I am checked out.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I don't want to live life on the emotional aspect. I know logically, financially, it makes more sense to stay. However, I don't know if I can emotionally and mentally handle it.
Mentally and emotionally is going to be because you could be debt free and still be miserable in your job.
And you're not saying this is after 6 months. You've said for
7 years.
For years, you've been upset.
Yeah, it's about most of my career, probably about 10. The last 10 years of my career, it's gotten like
So
that.
it's safe to say that you have sacrificed a certain level.
Why have you stayed in it, Josh? I'm curious.
What was that?
Why have you stayed in it for 10 years?
The pension and early retirement.
Okay, so this is a good lesson for America that money does not equate to happiness. There is a level of your life that as adults, we have to decide to bring a level of peace and to work a crappy, I would say a different word, but we're on a family-friendly show, crappy situation just to make a paycheck. You guys, it's not worth it.
Not worth it.
Life is too short. Life is too short, Josh. So you and your wife, I would sit down, you guys, pick a place on the map and say, we're going to transfer.
Georgia.
And we may even be in different careers, but we're going to find a level of peace and enjoyment. And we may make less, but people that make less and live within their means and work somewhere, they're happy. So, Josh, y'all got to make some changes for sure. And you should have made them 8 years ago, if I'm being honest, not to shame you. But
that's true.
We need to make some decisions here, Josh. We're rooting for you. Come to Nashville.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.